Hi, I'm Luke McIntosh, creator of BecomeABassist.com, and in this lesson you're going to learn how and where you can use your modes to start making music. You'll get an exercise that'll have you using your modes right away, plus you'll also see how you can use your modes to create fills and improvise and do everything like that. Now, if you already know a little bit about the modes and how they work, awesome. If not, go and check out this lesson up here. It'll make this lesson make a whole lot more sense. The first thing you need to know for this lesson is how to play just one octave of each of your major modes. So let's use G major for this lesson, and we're just going to use the modes of G major. So we're going to use G Ionian. You probably already know this one. Very simple. And then the second mode, A Dorian. Just like that. A little bit of a shift in there, but nothing I'm sure you can't handle. Then we're going to use B Phrygian, C Lydian, D Mixed Lydian, E Aeolian, and F sharp Locrian. Just like that. That's all of our major modes in the key of G, and those are the ones we'll be using in this lesson. Don't worry if you've missed any of these shapes. You can get them all by clicking the link underneath this video and signing up for the ultimate guide to modes. All the shapes are in there, plus notation and tabs. So whichever you prefer, I've got you covered. Alright, so we've got an octave of each of the different modes in the key of G, but that doesn't really answer the question of where you can use them and how you can use them. But I want to show you something right now that's hopefully going to make a lot more sense. Now, from the G major scale, or from any major scale in fact, you can actually make chords. Yeah, so and you do that by picking one note in the scale, skipping the next note, then picking the next one, then skipping one, and then picking the next one. So for example, if we start on G right here, and we skip the next note, A, and play the B right there, and then skip the next note, C, and play a D, then what do we get? G, B, and D, which makes a G major chord, right? Now this makes a lot of sense, right? If you've got a G major scale, a G major chord and a G major scale, they're probably going to sound good together. But you can also make other chords from the G major scale, in fact any other major scale, and you do that by just starting at a different place in the scale. For example, if you started on an A, you could do the exact same thing if you use the notes of G major. If we play A, skip the B, play C, skip the D, play E, you get this. An A minor chord. You can also go a step further with each of these and add a seventh. So the G would be G, B, D, then you skip the E and play the F sharp. You get a G major 7. You can do the same thing with the A minor 7 as well, or with the A minor and get an A minor 7 as well. You can keep doing this with every note in the scale and come up with a bunch of different chords. If you start on the B, you'll get either B minor or B minor 7. If you start on the C, you'll get C major or C major 7. If you start on the D, you'll get D major or a D7, D dominant. If you start on the E, you'll get E minor or E minor 7, right there. Or if you start on the F sharp, you'll get F sharp diminished or F sharp half diminished, just like that. This is what's called a chord scale. All of these chords here are related to that G major scale. They all came out of it. All of the chords are part of the same family, just like all of the modes of the major scale are all related. They're all part of the same family. And what we've created up here is kind of like a chordal universe for the key of G. Now, if all of these chords came from the key of G, does that mean that the G major scale is going to sound good over all of them? Well, not necessarily. Let's try this. Let's try taking an A minor 7, which we know is in the key of G, and playing a G major scale over the top of it. So this is an A minor 7. And if we play a G major scale, it doesn't not fit, but it doesn't sound particularly good either. It's kind of accenting all the wrong notes. Can you hear that? But listen to what happens when we start playing the A Dorian over that A minor 7. Check this out. A minor 7 right there. Oh, pardon me. Just like that. Yeah, sounds much better. Sounds like it actually fits. And this is exactly what you use the modes for. All of the modes correspond to a chord from within the key, yeah, from within that chordal universe. So in this example, we were playing an A minor, so we used the A Dorian from that key. Notice how that there are 7 notes in a major scale, and there are also 7 chords within the G major chord scale, and there are 7 modes. It works out perfectly. So you know that if you're in the key of G major and an A minor or an A minor 7 chord comes along, you can bust out your A Dorian and be almost guaranteed to sound good, whether you're improvising or playing a fill or playing a melody even. I want to give you an exercise right now that's going to help you kind of conceptualize this idea. So I've got some practice tracks over here, and all they do is just go through the chords in every key. So in this case, if we're using the key of G, it's going up G major 7, A minor 7, B minor 7, C major 7, D 7, E minor 7, F sharp half diminished, and G major 7 up top there. So it's just cycling through those chords, and what you're going to do and what we're going to do together is actually play the modes against each of those chords so you can see exactly how they fit. So I'll just put on this practice track over here and we'll get started. Starting with G Ionian. Then up to A Dorian, A minor 7 chord right there. Next we're going up to B Dorian, over a B minor 7, C Lydian. There we go. That's over a C major 7 chord. D mixed Lydian over a D dominant chord or a D7. E Aeolian over that E minor 7. And finally F sharp Locrian over that F sharp half diminished. And then we'll do the G major again at the top. Do you see how that works? Each one of the chords in the practice track corresponds perfectly with a mode of the major scale. This is pretty sweet, right? This is amazing. Once I had this kind of epiphany, then the whole fretboard became crystal clear to me. I had no confusion about what was going to sound good, and it made it very, very easy to do all these things we're talking about, like improvising or making up fills or even making up melodies. So definitely give that exercise a try. You might be surprised at how it kind of opens the doors of your mind a little bit. Once you get comfortable with just going up the modes, you could try some kind of alternatives. You might go up one mode and then down the next. That'd sound like this. Go up G Ionian and down the Dorian, and then up the Phrygian, and then down the Lydian, then up the mixed Lydian, then the next one's Aeolian, so we're going to go down the Aeolian, and then up the Locrian, and then down the Ionian. Just like that, super, super simple. There's quite a bit that you can do with this exercise. You don't have to just do one or the other. And I've put a couple of variations in the ultimate guide to the modes, which once again, you can click underneath this video, the link, and sign up for it at the website. You'll get the PDF guide plus all 24 different practice tracks in every different key, so you can practice your modes in every key. Now when it comes to actually playing a song and you want to throw in a fill somewhere or something like that, you can use your knowledge of the modes and of the chords of the song to do that. Yeah, so if, for example, you've got a song that goes from G major to D7, so from a 1 chord to a 5 chord, then you can use your knowledge of the modes to do that. So over the G chord, obviously you'll play the 1 chord, you'll play the Ionian. Over the 5 chord, you'll play the D mixed Lydian right there. So let's try that right now. So we'll have 2 bars of G. And the D7. And put a fill in here. We'll try another one. Just like that. So we're just using over the D7 chord the notes of D mixed Lydian. That's it. Super, super simple, but incredibly effective. Once again, don't forget to download the Ultimate Guide to the Modes. It's a free 16-page PDF document, plus 24 practice tracks that you can use to start playing with your modes today. So to recap, you learned all about how and where you can use the modes of the major scale. You learned each of the modes individually, and then you learned that each of the modes corresponds to a chord from within that key. You learned that you could use each of the modes against their corresponding chord, and that if you knew the chords to a song that you were playing, you were virtually guaranteed to sound good over it because you know which mode will work over that chord. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. My name's Luke McIntosh, creator of BecomeABassist.com, and I will see you very, very soon.